Welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, Gungans. Actually, screw the Gungans right now, but the droids were cool still. Welcome to Arnold Holiday News, the only news happening because you have no other choice. People, we had a lot of questions yesterday with the Night Trooper Kimberville. If you missed it, card in the top right-hand corner. Well, a lot of those questions have been answered and even more because, my friends, as Gary's bringing down, we have the road ahead for July 2024, and my, oh my, if you were missing the blank space of characters that we haven't had for the past month and a half, well, they gave us 7, I guess 8 if you're including Ahsoka, so let's get on into it. But one thing that's funny to note, although we have like 8 new characters coming to the game, not a single mention of a new capital ship. This might be the first year we don't get a new Big Daddy capital ship, or maybe they push till later on in the year potentially, but generally this is the time of year, so they're breaking tradition in that regard. We are still waiting for the Naboo raid to drop, but as you can see, if you pop open the game, Gary, that's your cue to pop open the game. You'll see that there's an update scheduled in a couple hours here, so assuming that the update goes through and the Naboo raid is ready to be played, we will be testing out that puppy, so stay tuned, keep your comms open, but let's talk about what we have before us today. 7 new characters announced, plus 1 of the Galactic Legend Ahsoka Tano. A lot of crazy stuff, still a couple of question marks that I have, but on top of all that, let's just say they got some interesting stuff. Let's just go through this one by one. Road ahead, July 2024, baby! Welcome to the July 2024 Road Ahead. Today, we will be giving you the insights into the rise of the Imperial Remnant. Literally, just the other day, we're like, this Night Trooper's cool, but how do we fit it in? The Dark Trooper Moff Gideon? I don't know, maybe a Night Scissor team? Well, it's kind of a little bit of both. So, you know, we were kind of on the money that there was more Imperial Remnants coming, and the Night Trooper just didn't make 100% sense where it fit in the current game, but it makes sense now. The mysterious characters known as the Great Mother, spoiler, it's gonna be the next large unit for Star Wars Galaxy. It sounds like it's gonna be a 3-in-1 type of character, a PC beta update, and a new Ezra conquest character. So we're still within the Luthen Rail cycle, but after Luthen Rail, we're going to Ezra. See, last year, people were complaining, like, oh man, all we're getting is dark side stuff. Well, now this year is basically like all light side conquest characters for the most part. And we start our story, my friends, with the beginning of the new Imperial Remnant team. I just gotta say, now that I'm thinking about it, as we're gonna see all these new characters, I have my, like, you know, speculative wish list or prediction list for the year. I feel like we more or less like knocked out almost everything on my list there. Anyways, let's get to it. Imperial Remnant. After they were defeated on Endor, the Empire was fractured and scattered through the universe and began creating factions, one notably known as the Imperial Remnant. We are excited to bring you this cast of unscrupulous characters to Star Wars TM Galaxy of Heroes. Here's a brief overview of each character, as well as a sneak peek into their capabilities and intended roles within the squad, but more will be coming as we continue to develop these units. Now, we're going to go through all these Imperial Remnants, but one thing that's a glaring omission, there's no Thrawn. No Thrawn. Touch-up, rework, Omicron, no announcement of a new Galactic Legend on. I want to believe, especially with all these new troopers that we're getting and these other Imperial Remnant factions, either we're getting ready for maybe a Galactic Legend Thrawn come the new year. Who knows? They haven't done 2 GLs in a year in a long time. I'd be surprised if we get a second one. But nonetheless, I just want to, we're going to read all this, but it feels like we are waiting for the Big Daddy, Big Papa Thrawn. But let's go have a word from the lead designer. We were looking to build a thematic team around the fallen Empire while making sure to distinctly separate these characters from the Empire faction. Other notable thing, you can't even technically really use Night Trooper with Grand Admiral Thrawn's lead, even if you wanted to, because there's no Empire tag on a Night Trooper. It's kind of peeving me how they've been treating tags lately. It's like, can you at least make the tags, you know, kind of lower accurate? Okay, but maybe the Empire is not the same thing as Imperial Remnant. Oh my gosh, mind blown. I'm not going to go through that argument. I don't think that's true. But through design, their strengths live within Captain Enoch's undead mechanics. Yes, we're getting a Captain Enoch, which we'll be going into further at a later date. In addition to Night Trooper and Death Trooper helping around the Imperial Remnant, they will be required for the new Galactic Legend, Ahsoka Tano. So very weird that a lot of these requirements with the Night Trooper, the Death Trooper, if I'm seeing this, even though we're getting an Enoch's not required. They didn't mention that. We're also not getting relic requirements. They're kind of leaving us in the dark. I'm assuming when we get the... Yeah, I don't know. We don't even know Night Trooper's requirements for the relics. So again, question marks that are still presented even after answering some of the previous question marks. That's right, with the excitement of the Disney Plus series, Ahsoka, we are happy to announce that Galactic Legend Ahsoka Town is coming to Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. Cat is out of the bag for that one, get it? Cat is out of the bag? Anybody? Please clap. Come on, that was good. That was good. I don't want to toot my own horn. You are probably wondering which characters you'll need to unlock her. We've got you covered, a few of them, and it starts with the Imperial Remnant Squad. More of her required will be announced periodically until she arrives in game. So again, up here, that's why I'm a little confused. In addition to the Night Trooper and Death Trooper, they will be required for New Galactic Legend of Ahsoka Tano. I don't know why they didn't include Enoch up here. They're showing Enoch down here. So I'm assuming Enoch's gonna be required. You know, time will tell. Time will tell. We're gonna get the confirmation, but for sure, Night Trooper and Death Trooper Peridia will be required. There's a little bit of discrepancy between that statement and this here. But anyways, we have the Night Trooper, which we just did the kit reveal the other day. Attacker who spreads a new effect called Blight among their foes. Also has a case of the if you can do it, I can do it in their kit. The healing thing. If the enemy heals, he heals. Really cool stuff. Even a one heal, one point heal on the other team, Night Trooper gets 100% health recovery. Pretty crazy stuff. But now we have the Death Trooper Peridia edition, which we have a little, here's that we already saw Night Trooper, so nothing too new, but I'd like them to do more of these behind the scenes stuff. Here's the Death Trooper, looks pretty sick, man. This looks pretty sick. Death Trooper Peridia, attacker loves Blight, and interacting with Blight can be used on a Night Sister squad. We're gonna be talking about that in a moment, but let's keep moving. Then Captain Enoch, leader of the Imperial Remnant squad, equipped with ruthless nature, decay. So we don't have any images of that. Again, no kit reel, but we know we're getting those characters right around the corner. And here's those work in progresses that I kind of jumped over to with all the exciting releases coming. We wanted to give you a sneak peek of the work in progress images of Night Trooper and Death Trooper. The art team is currently working on. Since these are work in progress pictures, details of the final characters may change. So Night Trooper should be happening later on this week. I presume on the 4th of July, America Day. So we'll be likely firing that up like we're gonna be firing up the grill to test out Night Trooper that day. But again, kind of like what I said the other day, we're probably not going to understand the full picture. We might get some uses with maybe Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, maybe with Night Sisters, but the full picture is going to make more sense as we move into this next bit. The Great Mothers Squad. Now, if you don't know who the Great Mothers are, it's these three witches right here. Before the power of the many was a very popular phrase, the coin. The original power of the many, I suppose. So it sounds like what they're doing here, they're going to be bundling those three witches together as one new large unit, and we're going to have a new Great Mother's Night system. Because that was another theory that we're throwing out. It's like, oh, maybe this new Night Trooper can work with like a second Night Sister team. But the Night Sister we have left over, you know, Talia, the Acolyte, you know, Spirit. I don't know if that would have been enough for Night Trooper to really lift. This is going to supplement that. And they're not trying to interfere with the Mother Talisman team that's pretty well established now. The Great Mothers are a mysterious and powerful group introduced in the Disney Plus series Ahsoka. They have a connection to the Night Sister of Dathomir, known for their magic. Their names are Klato, Lexus. Boy, never invite me to a Night Sister graduation ceremony. I would butcher every single one of their names when they walk down the aisle. Their shrouded past and enigmatic powers make the Great Mothers a fascinating addition to Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. You know what I'm waiting for? Anytime I slightly mispronounce like an obscure no-name person Star Wars character, I get one person like, are you even a Star Wars fan? How do you not know Atropau? Atropau is literally the GOAT of Star Wars. I'm waiting for that. It's all right. Feel free to leave that comment below, please. That'd be kind of funny. A small word from one of the design leads of the new Night Sister teams. Let's get to it. The Night Sister Squad. First off, as I already prefaced for you guys, we don't intend to break up the current Night Sister team. With the introduction of these new awesome characters, we wanted to make sure we preserve that original team, but give this new squad their own unique identity. Though we won't be surprised if folks find a new team out of all these characters. There you go. They know that our sheer intellect is, you can't even calculate. It's so high. Our IQ, I mean, we could probably warm a room together. While we are still investigating some of the mechanics and balance of these characters, we want you, the player, to make choices with this team. I like choices. I like the options. I feel oftentimes, I mean, that's how metas work, right? Everything becomes cookie cutter. Everyone kind of uses the same team builds. There's not really much variety, but I'm hoping that we have actually good choice. Like you could do, you know, it's kind of like Leia. Galactic Legend Leia, I know people like some people want to have those established 4th and 5th members. I'm actually kind of happy there's not an established 4th and 5th member. I like one moment throwing in Mon Mothma, Captain Rex, Baze, and then maybe Old Ben, Kanan, and then, you know, maybe Admiral Radisson, Jin. I like options. So I think Leia is a good indication of something that I like here. So it's up to you to decide. The power level we are shooting for this team is around the strength of the Gungans. God dang. The Gungans have been a nightmare. And if you guys haven't been fighting Gungans into Jar Jar specifically, and gosh forbid the Datacron, it's a nightmare of a team. Kind of like what we said, it's the best non-galactic legend defense in the game. There's not a lot of ways of handling it right now. With their own set of strengths and weaknesses, of course. Okay. We're very excited to see another Night Sister team coming to SWG to the O to the H. And here's some of those details that we have. The Great Mothers. The Great Mothers bring Fate, Weaving, and 2 new effects. Blessed and Doomed to the table via their leader ability. Their abilities also boost the effects of the existing Night Sister Acolyte and Night Sister Spirit, making them good choices for the squad. The Great Mothers will also be the second large unit introduced to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, the other one being Jabba the Hutt. So at first I was like, oh, I don't remember them being that big, but then I'm like, oh, okay, we're putting 3. It's a 3-in-1 type of character, which is kind of cool. And then on top of that, Morgan Elsbeth, we kind of saw this coming from a mile away. Morgan Elsbeth has been making a lot of appearances, not just in Ahsoka, but in Mando. Then we had Tales of the Empire. It's like, all right, they're going to be doing something a little bit more with her in Star Wars Galaxies. And here we go. A skilled warrior with impressive combat prowess. You can expect Morgan Elsbeth to be the tank of the team, which kind of threw me off. I never expected her to be a tank. I kind of saw her more of like an attacker, but nonetheless, we'll have to wait and see. I'm wondering if they're going to go with the, I don't know, what do you want to call it, empowered Morgan Elsbeth, where she has that fancy like Night Sister sword or whatever, and then she kind of gets blessed by the sisters. I don't know if they're going to go that direction or they're going to go for like more of that Beskar pike that she had in the Mandalorian TV show. So again, possible options that we have with building the team. As they say, who do we expect to round out the team? Talia, Night Sister Spirit, Night Sister Acolyte. I'm a fan of this. Again, we have Night Sisters left over. I don't like things that are left over not being used. This is going to be a nice way of creating another team that borrows from leftover Night Sisters. I mean, Spirit's not outdated, but, you know, Spirit generally gets kicked out of the current Night Sister squad, so this makes sense. However, other options for the team, and this is where I want to believe they're holding something back from us. Other options for the team: Night Trooper, Death Trooper, Peridia, which we just went over, and the Night Sister Initiative. So it confused. I'm kind of confuzzled right now. We're getting all these cool Imperial remnants, which you would think would have been requirements for Grand Admiral Thrawn or a new Thrawn or whatever, or Thrawn Rework, Thrawn Touch, Thrawn Omicron. But instead they're being required for Galactic Legends, which is fine. It makes sense, but it makes more sense to make it required for Thrawn. And then we have this new Night Sister team with the Great Mothers, and it's like these are options to throw in there. So are Night Trooper and Death Trooper just supposed to be options, or are they going to have a permanent identity in a team somewhere? So time will tell. I think the best way to have an opinion on this right now, this is basically saying you can use these guys with the Great Mothers. In the meantime, until something comes. I'm really reading between the lines here, but that's my guess. I want to believe there's going to be a greater team with like Thrawn, Elsbeth, and these 2 troopers right here, and Enoch as well. Like they haven't mentioned where Enoch goes. Again, I'm confused. You're releasing an Enoch, but you're not even recommending Enoch for this team. I'm being driven crazy. And I'm assuming as well these are going to be marquee units. They didn't state, as we just read, but I'm assuming Great Mothers are marquee. Morgan Elsbeth will be a marquee because we know the next Conquest character is going to be Ezra Bridger. So Ezra Bridger, we're going with the one that was on Peridia here, a little bit more matured, grew out the beard, became kind of a space hippie over on Peridia apparently. The design lead for the new Conquest unit, Ezra, wanted to stop by and provide a few words on what they're working on. Hey, friends, Ezra's designer here. While we're still fairly early on in the design process for this new Conquest character, we wanted to give you a little sneak peek of what we're cooking up for this version of Ezra. We really wanted to capture the growth and learnings of Ezra and learnings of who Ezra has become during his time in exile on Peridia. To that end, this Ezra in exile will be a support character that turns his enemy strengths against him, and we cannot wait for Ezra to make his way to SWG to the O to the H and look forward to sharing with you more details about him in the future. And I can only presume this is going to be a cornerstone member to Ahsoka. Very happy I kind of waited to do my speculation list. I was going to release it today, but I'm like, good thing I did it, because I was predicting a new Ezra was going to come as part of an Ahsoka Tano requirement. I'd be surprised if this is going to be a requirement for Ahsoka Tano, but I do suspect this will be a part of the new Galactic Legend Ahsoka Tano team. And then, quick PC open beta update. The PC closed beta has been out for a little over 3 weeks now. Feels like it's been longer than that. Wasn't it? This has been out. Okay, I mean, I guess it has been over 3 weeks, but that's weird. It's been over a month. Okay, anyways, okay. And we couldn't be happier with all the positive feedback you provided us. The team is working on this project and has been listening and brainstorming on more ways to make the PC experience more enjoyable for you. So it's great to hear that the foundation is in a good place. And be sure, I know you guys are like, oh, okay, we're done. No, there's one more Big Daddy that we haven't been over. So sit down, relax. We'll get to it in a moment here. What's the next PC beta? Due to the 6 of our closed PC beta, we've decided to open up the closed beta to everyone who has signed up to this point in early July. So again, I shared the survey many moons ago. If you signed up for that survey, all of you guys will get access to the PC beta. But if you didn't sign up for that survey, you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer apparently. But they're opening up to a lot more people. And they're trying to implement some of the suggestions we've heard before going to open beta. Very nice. Then we have Meatlog here. I'm very excited about Ezra content, to be honest. Always enjoyed their story and characters. Seeing more people getting into the closed beta will be awesome. Also, more nights, need I say more, that here's the producer note here. Coffee log with Ahsoka art all over my house. I've been anxiously waiting for the time for Ahsoka Town to be our next galactic legend. Her show gave us so many characters that not only look visually striking, but also had great notes for the factions we want to build and or expand on. Who can resist more Night Sisters? Yeah, I'm really excited for the new Night Sisters. I'm excited for the Imperial Remnant thing, but again, a lot of question marks. And here's the last little ditty they let us have right here. With that, that is the end of our July 2024 road ahead. We are excited to bring more characters into SWGOH who are associated with Ahsoka, including Baylan. What a casual name drop right there. I know that was a very popularly requested character. I think Baylan was definitely one of the more interesting members of the Ahsoka show. Curious to see where his story is going to pan out here. We really appreciate you taking the time to read over what we have going on. I look forward to reading your conversation posts about the above and the SWGOH dev team plus the one laptop. I'm glad they've embraced their memes. It's nice seeing that here. Overall, really exciting stuff. 8 new characters. Holy cow. It's going to be a busy couple months in that regard. May and June kind of give us a little bit of breathing space, but we have the Naboo raid kind of closing up the last chapter that we've had for Star Wars Galaxies. Overall, this is cool stuff. I would have liked to see at least some other maybe improvement into Gear Econ. I was really hoping to maybe see something more with maybe making Relic 9 a little bit easier to get, maybe some reward changes, something that matters. Don't get me wrong, I love new characters. I think a lot of the stuff is cool, but it would have been cool to see stuff like that. And I'm really surprised that there's no new capital ship that we can see as of now. But hey, maybe that's a good thing, you know? Let them take a breather off that, because the Leviathan was crazy expensive to get and pretty difficult to get too. 2 conquest ships. Nonetheless, people, who cares about my opinion? I care about your opinions. Let's go ahead and hear it down below. Stay tuned again. I know this is all exciting stuff, but we got a Naboo raid that we need to get on the battlefield and help those Gungans reluctantly. I'm really ticked off the Gungans, as I said, but nonetheless, we all know this. Although they're going to have some problems on Naboo over in our part of the neck of the neighborhood, you know that it's great to be in the Empire. Gary, what do we say? Today.